Good news, good news, good news from BMW. I feel like BMW is slowly transforming their entire brand into what I want to see BMW become, meaning going back to what they used to be when it comes to design. Because now, as we sort of expected it to be when we saw this concept, the Skytop concept is in fact going into production, and I am very excited to see that. It's one of the best BMWs from a design standpoint in a very long time that I've seen. I'm going to show you exactly why. Why is this such a good design? Yes, it looks good, but why does it look good? What is it in the design that makes this a good design? That is what I'm going to show you in Photoshop in just a minute, because we're going to compare it to the concept, which is going to be very hard to do. I'm going to need your help there because I can't really see any differences at all from the concept into the production version. And then we're going to compare it. I'm going to show you the 5 Series and compare it to this and show you exactly what makes a good car design and why I love this Skytop concept, the production version. So before we do that, let's have a look at this article from Car and Driver, linked down below in the description. The elegant BMW Skytop concept is in fact going into production. Just 50 examples though. I have a couple of comments about that as well. Of the 2-seat convertible will be built, and each features a 617 horsepower twin-turbo V8 from, of course, the car that is based on, the M8 Competition. And all of them, all 50, have already been sold. The car looks ready for production. The concept car, with BMW hinting back in Villa d'Este in Italy that they might build it. We just don't know yet, but they already knew that they're, of course, going to put this into production in limited quantities. And now BMW has confirmed that, yes, this is going into production. As I said, just 50 units, unfortunately. So I can say it right now. So the reason why why I don't think they should only build 50 units of this, because I think this is such a huge deal for BMW fans to see a car like this. We've been wanting to see a good BMW design now for such a long time, and here it is. And unfortunately, they're only building 50 units of it. I think they should make this the new BMW 8 Series and just call it a day. Just keep this design, maybe lose some of the very expensive features such as these door handles and stuff like that, the very upscale things that are handcrafted and stuff like that, and make this general design, just turn this into the 8 Series. It's gonna be a hit, I'm telling you right now, specifically with this Targa roof that we have, a very cool design. So the hand-painted floating sundown silver color from the concept also carries over to the production, and it seems it will be the only hue offered for the limited run vehicle. So there's no ad personam or whatever it calls in Lamborghini. We have 1,000 different colors to choose from. This is, you get this color and that's it. You have no say. Of course, you can wrap it afterwards if you want to. Don't think that's a good idea though, because I don't know, I would keep it in this color. The Skytop also sets itself apart with a spine that runs down the hood and reappears on the rear deck as an aluminum bar, and I love this little feature. It reminds me a lot of Bugattis, where they also have a spine going across the entire car if you look at it from a top view. Instead of traditional door handles, the doors are opened via small winglets that extend upward from the silver window trim. Now, stuff like this, the spine, these door handles, I'm okay just with making it just a normal door handle if we were to make this into a mass production 8 Series. Now, in the interior, meanwhile, is coated in rich brown leather. And it probably smells of rich mahogany. If you know, you know. The gear selector gets an elegant crystal appearance, and the cabin is fitted with a Bowers & Wilkins sound system. Under the hood, you have the 617 horsepower twin-turbo 4.4-liter V8 that routes power to all 4 wheels. So you do have all-wheel drive in this car. 8-speed automatic, 0 to 60 in about 3.3 seconds. I drove the M8 Competition, and it is an absolute beast of a machine, because when I shift gears in the M8 Competition, it sounded like a subwoofer boom every time I hit the shift pedals. It was such a unique experience. I've never heard that in any other car. Such a violent but very exciting car to drive, even though it's a pretty huge car. You can go and check that review out on the Sketch Monkey channel if you want to do that. BMW says that the Skytop is already sold out. There's no word of how much it costs, but the cost that was shown in May, the rumored price was about $542,000, and that is not going to work if we're going to put this in mass production. So we got to reduce the price a little bit, take away some of these very, very fancy, unique, handcrafted features. Sad to see them go, but I would definitely sacrifice those in order to make this a production car. Now, jumping into Photoshop here. So let's have a look. Let's talk car design here and what's going on with the 8 series, with the Skytop. I keep calling it the 8 series because I want it so deeply to be the new 8 series. But up top, we do have the Skytop concept. And all the way down here, we have the Skytop, the production version. And I want to ask you if you see any differences whatsoever, except for the license plate in the front end. It went straight from the concept into production. I love that. So looking at the design here, and what makes the 5 Series a bad BMW design, what makes the Skytop a good BMW design? Let me show you. So first of all, we have a one single line here up top. It's going to be pretty hard to sketch in this angle, but we have one line here going across the top kidneys and have a clear connection to the top of the headlights. So this is one single curvature here, and underneath is where all the graphics starts. I've talked about this so many times before, but it's not only that. We need to look at all the angles here in the car. For example, this angle of the headlight, how this ends. It has this angle. Does it have a connection to any other angle in the front end, specifically in the top part, which is where it's supposed to be connected to? Yes, it does. So look at this. We have the same angle right here at the side of the kidney. So these have a connection to each other. Two parallel lines, of course, same here on the other side. And look at this. Again, we have another angle down here. Now we have a separation between the lower half of the graphics with this line going right here from the top half, from the top part of the air intakes on the side, going underneath the grille, and then, of course, coming back on the side here, creating a bit of a bumper design here and a bit of a separation between the top half and the lower half section. Now, do we have any connection between the top half, this part, and the lower section when it comes to line flow? Yes, we do, because look at this. We now have these top pieces of the air intakes having this angle right here, this line, which is the exact angle that we have for the lower half of the headlights. Now we have two connecting lines in the front, and these two as well, looking very clean. And if we go all through this design, you can find these angles all over this car, in the front, in the side view, and in the rear as well. And look at how simple the air intake is down here at the bottom. We have one single fin internally in the lower section here. Beautiful sculpted design here. This is automotive design with a lot of fluid lines, a lot of dynamic features, meaning that we have a thicker, a wider section here going into a thinner piece, creating this very dynamic feel and automotive feel that I want to see from BMW. I also love that the kidneys are stretched out horizontally here and creates this very wide look for the BMW. That is, again, what I want to see in specifically BMW, which is supposed to have this confident face in the front end. The lower section, all the way down low, we have a single line going right here, creating a baseline for what's going on in the in the front end. So you have this foundation down here, and then you have this same curvature down here coming back to be the top part curvature that starts the graphics in the lower section. I'm not sure if all of this makes sense, but this is, to me, what makes a good design. I mean, it's sort of, the simpler it is, the better the design is. Now look at the 5 Series here. If we do the same exercise for the 5 Series, and this is where you can see why I don't think the 5 Series is, or BMW in general. I just took the 5 Series for this example. So check out this edge here for the grille, has no connection to the angle that we have on the headlight. And then we have this step design here, it goes in here of the head lower section, which doesn't have any connection to what's going on in this area here. Two different angles. This has a slight downward angle, and these are completely horizontal angles with this little dip in the middle. Already I'm confused. I'm like, what's going on here? Why is there no connection between the graphic features in the front end? And then we have this black piece now, the grills sticking down, and then the graphic designers decided to add a big black piece right here that goes in all kinds of weird angles in the front end. And look at how complex the lower section is here with all of these fins going in here. Then we have a big bar behind the license plates and chamfers randomly spread out in the front end. This angle does have a connection to what's going on here, and that is a good thing. We have at least a little bit of connectivity or connection between the graphic features, but that's pretty much it. Everything feels like all the graphic features in the front end of a BMW these days are coming from completely different cars. This front end looks to me be made up of 10 different cars. They just took different parts and just smashed it together into one car. You can see the grille here as well. We have the radar right in the middle, in between the two most important features for a front end of a BMW, which are these two kidneys. We have a grille, we have a radar, just static features right in the middle, ruining this beautiful connection that we could have had here to line flow, to two symmetrical lines like this, and just have this be some other color, maybe even white, maybe have this be body color. But instead, they decided to slap the radar in here. And this is what makes BMW so confusing to me today. When I look at the front end, to me it feels like they completely lost their way when it comes to design, and that is why I'm so excited to see that the Skytop is in fact going into production, because I feel like with the new design team from Polestar, Porsche, Rolls-Royce, I feel like they are onto something here. There's a big change coming from BMW when it comes to their designs. And down here, I just want to quickly show you the production version again, because I don't see any sort of differences between the production version and the concept. It's like nothing at all. Even the fins in the middle of the grille, 3 different fins here, 1 in the middle at the bottom. We have the same styling here for the production version, which is fantastic to see. Minimal changes, if any changes at all. Now looking at side view here, quickly wanted to show you this because I just slapped in the concept again, because I don't really see any differences. Even the side mirror here is the exact same one. So from now on, I'm just gonna go with the expectation that the concept is in fact the exact same car as the production version, and not make these comparisons. If you want to look at this and try to find differences, you can do that. But personally, I've been doing that for a long time now, and I still can't find any differences. So let's focus on the production version down here. Same color as the concept, of course. Beautiful line fall. Check this out. We have a nice line here in the front end, very sharp, very distinct right here, and then continues into the rear end. And check this out, going through the rear axle into the rear bumper. One single beautiful line down there at the bottom, looking fantastic. I also like that we have a different solution here. It's not a convertible, it's not a coupe, it's a Targa solution for the Skytop. And this is the door handle here. I guess you place your hand behind this little piece, and that's how you pull the door open. It's a gorgeous design with subtle lines and also sharp lines. We have a subtle line here, for example, over the rear axle, looking very clean, and we also have a nice little line here going into the corner of the headlight that then wraps around and creates this line that we talked about in the front end over the grille. I mean, to me, it's just this is design that I want to see from BMW. I've said it before, and I hope this is the approach that they're gonna go now moving forward. One thing that I would like to change here is this lower section. I feel like this is too static, because it feels like it's, if we put a center line here, it looks symmetrical. Same design here like we have in the back. I would much rather have it go something like this. Let's see, let's remove these lines so you can see what I'm talking about. So much rather have it go something like this. Carve out slowly up to a corner here, and then it dips a little faster, and essentially have this be body color like this, and then dip down a little to have a bit of more dynamic feeling in that area. Now looking at the rear view here, this is, I don't know if I should say it again, but I think that this is the 3/4 rear view. It's probably going to be my favorite view for this car, even though the front end, the side view, everything looks gorgeous. But what this reminds me of down here, you can see the concept up top. Again, no differences. I love the integration of the exhaust pipes. It feels like they have a nice housing to them here. You can see it more clearly on the concept like this, and a beautiful subtle little diffuser down here with some slots in the lower section. And these oval exhaust pipes looks elegant and sporty at the same time. And then we have these stunning chamfers right here, super crisp. Reminds me a little, the taillights themselves reminds me a little bit of the old BMW Z8 designed by Henrik Fisker himself. with this very thin taillights here. Bit of dynamic feel to them because we have a secondary tail LED up top here that then ends in this point and continues with the lower section, which is a little bit longer. Love this treatment of the rear end. It's a beautiful, beautiful design. These chamfers here is just something that I want to feel with my hand, this top line, and how this then goes in, melts into the body here and fades into this beautiful rear muscle that we have here. I mean, it's a stunning design. And then we have this spine that we talked about, this Bugatti spine that goes all the way from the front end, from the hood here. You can see it here, going in, again, coming back in the rear end, creating this almost Rolls-Royce / Bugatti style rear end, which is beautiful with this Targa wing up top, brake light up here. Interior, let's check out the interior. And this is not a bad thing. As you can see, this is the iDrive 7 system. I do believe this is the iDrive 7. It might be 7.5, or I think they switched it up with the screens at 8. But this is the old system. And some might say, why would they create a $500,000 limited edition car like this and not implement the iDrive 9.5? I do believe they have now. It's very simple. If you want to have a premium price, you need to go back to physical buttons and dials and toggles, and that is what the iDrive 7.5 or 7 had, and that is the reason, I do believe, why they picked this interior. And it's also, you know, it's based on the 8 series, which still have the old iDrive system. So of course, they also, I guess, saved a little bit of money, just not changing up the interior too much and just keep it as much 8 series as possible. But this system, I wish BMW altogether throughout the entire lineup went back to this system here, where you have a gauge cluster, a proper leather-wrapped gauge cluster and housing for it, and you have all these physical knobs and buttons here. Special edition here for the Skytop that we haven't seen in any other BMW is this crystal bar in the third spoke of the steering wheel, and of course very, very brown looking in here to add some of this elegant feel that we want to have in a car of this price range, and also with this beautiful elegant exterior design. So I'm happy to see this going into production. I kind of knew they were going to put this into production. I was just hoping that it would be the new 8 series instead of a limited edition $500,000 Skytop specific, special variant of BMW. But who knows? Hopefully they take this design, the cues from this design, and they listen to what their customers have to say, and then they move forward with the new design team and create what we all want to see BMW become, which is what they were 10 or 15 years ago.